Hey, and welcome to this Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming today live, kicking off another week with a Money Monday from the Newsmax Outpost here at the Liquid Lunch Studios on Broadway. As we are every day, noon to 2 Eastern, we're in the Question Tequila Studios. Jason, the CEO, sent us like 5 cases for the big grand opening last week, so we're well fortified for a crazy week where we just may need more than a drink to get through all of this impeachment hoax. Before kicking off today's Money Monday show, let's go down the street to the New York Stock Exchange. After a tremendous week last week, all-time highs, closed on a Friday above 28,000, down just a smidge today, about 60 points. Nothing crazy happening there. Everybody's got their eye on the prize in the China trade talks. Are we going to go into a phase one deal? Or are we going to kick in more tariffs on December 15th? We'll see that, but I think the president did a great job a couple of weeks ago sending out Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, and himself saying, we do not have to make a deal right now, and we can wait till after 2020. So we got some leverage back. I think that's good for the market. Bitcoin at 7,500, down about 80 points today. As you know, I've been looking for that 8,000 number. I thought that was the trap door when it fell below there. I've been telling you, under 8,000, be careful. There wasn't, to me, a lot of stability in the sevens. It could go as low as 5,500, above 8 with a good close and some strong news. It could go back to 10. Who knows? Stay nimble and stay alert on your Bitcoin positions. We'll have Nick Spanos coming on a little later in the show. He's the founder of the Bitcoin Center. If you remember, just a couple months back, we went down to Miami to cover the Democratic debates down there, and Nick and his team were nice enough to host us. And what is a host without a great co-host? And joining me today, as usual, Frankie Morano is here. Hey, Frankie. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, John, and a big happy birthday to legendary actor Kirk Douglas, who is celebrating his 103rd birthday today.
Tremendous. And how come all these famous people and these presidents all live into their hundreds? Isn't it strange that all these like really super famous people and former presidents and they all live to like 95?
Well, I mean, I guess when you're
there's some secret drug out there that the famous and political get?
Well, look, there are plenty of famous people that die young. You know,
those are usually tragedies.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But all right, whatever.
Look at Gary Shandling. He died young.
Oh, man.
Right?
My favorite show ever. The Larry Sanders Show.
A great show. I discovered it late in life, but...
Late in life?
I did.
You're like 10.
No.
When was late in life for you? Later in life.
Later in life than you.
I don't mean to correct you.
All right. But as happy as we are about Kirk Douglas... By the way, a terrific film that Kirk Douglas is in, which mirrors so much of what we're seeing now in terms of a coup to take over the government, 7 Days in May. 7 Days in May. And if you look at the events in that film, it's a great film. Burt Lancaster is in it as well, Kirk Douglas, and I think Frederick March. The president wants essentially peace with Russia. And the military-industrial complex will not let that happen, so they determine that they have to take over the government. It's a really incredible film, well acted, great story, but when you look at what's happening today, you think maybe there's some actual parallels. But none of those are what I am speaking, frankly, about. There is a cancer in our society. There is a scourge that is just pandemic. There is something that needs to be stamped out. And with your help, we can stamp it out. It may sound trivial, but this is all too important. People need to stop sending super long text messages. Take a look at this SMS text message. By the way, the S, the first S in SMS text message stands for short. Short. Short.
I can't believe you're lecturing people on length,
we're gonna get to
length of written commentary.
Take a look at this
sends emails
SMS
that has 7 pages
text
long.
message that I received from Zen Sam's yesterday. Look at this. Now look at this. This is one message. This is one message.
Right.
This is a paragraph on there. This is crazy. I'm not reading that whole thing. Now, I read the first line and the last line. That's all. All the bulk of it in the middle is just gone. It's wasted. Now, the only other thing that's worse than that is if you don't immediately respond to a text message and you pick up your phone to find that you've gotten 5 or 6 SMS text messages, as was the case with John A. Tobacco Jr. yesterday. Take a look at this. Look at this. Look, no responses. He's got screen grabs in there. He's got questions.
All right,
he's got commentary.
I don't really want my personal text messages to you shared with.
Well, that's a
everyone.
lesson for another day. Now, what do you do if you have something that needs to be communicated that's more than 2 lines? Well, there's this phenomenal new technology, thank you, Al Gore, called email. It stands for electronic mail, and it's meant for conveying longer messages. So the Zen Samses of the world, the John Tobaccos, whomever else, my friend Dennis Petoff, who love to send these long SMS text messages, that's not why text messages exist. That's what email is for. If you require some immediacy to your communication, you know what you do? You pick up the telephone and you dial my number. And if I can't speak to you right away, I'll call you back.
Is this a problem that's plaguing society,
yes.
or is this just a personal beef?
It's terrible. People need to use the proper form of communication for the proper message. You remember Marshall McLuhan, who said the medium is the message?
On that, frankly speaking, which is an answer
well, you know
to
why? Because
another issue.
we have Jeffrey Lichtman coming in next, and
Yeah.
I think he's going to say what I would have said about Pete Hegseth being banned from Twitter.
Okay. Well, let's talk.
So,
let's
him
leave
rant.
that to one of the
he's a pro.
The world's most famed criminal defense attorneys and Saudi hater.
I don't know that he's a Saudi hater. I think
Middle East.
I think that's incredibly unfair.
Middle East advocate against helping the Middle East. He doesn't like extremism, right?
Well, let's let Jeffrey characterize his own beliefs. I think he really dislikes radical Islamic terrorism, which I do as well.
That's right.
But sometimes we don't really see eye to eye.
I'm getting.
You're the pro-terrorist on the show.
No, I'm just saying I'm getting really frustrated because this is a moment where I'm expecting Donald Trump to come out and say, this shooting at the naval base is radical Islamic terrorism, and all we see right now is the FBI is saying that it's probably. Why isn't the president coming out and saying when he was taking during the presidential debates, he was saying it every other day. Why isn't Hillary saying radical Islamic terrorism? Why isn't Obama saying radical Islamic terrorism? Why isn't he saying
Well,
it
let's
now?
look at what the president is saying. Can we throw up GF1, please? I didn't expect us to talk about it here because we're going to get into it with Jeffrey in just a moment. But throw up GF1. This is what the president tweeted. It was either on Friday or Saturday. He's tweeting at such a rapid pace. Just spoke to the King of Saudi Arabia, who denies any knowledge of whatever may have happened to our Saudi Arabian citizen. He said that they are working closely with Turkey to find answer. I'm immediately sending our Secretary of State to meet with the King. And then he had another tweet in which he's going on and on about how upset the King is about this. Well,
the King's not upset.
I don't think the King's that upset.
The King is laughing all the way to the bank. He's doing an IPO for his oil company.
Yes,
He's coming in the Aramco, and he knows we're not going to do anything about it. And if you ask me, Frank, I used to say to you, blah, blah, with this Saudi stuff. Remember a few months back?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all this
people can go back
global political stuff. But you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of Saudi Arabia. Really sick and tired. Everybody just overlooks, because they got the oil.
Well, no, it's 3 reasons, right? And
17 out of 19 terrorists who murdered thousands of Americans were Saudis, right? That's simple. Recently, they took an American journalist and hacked them into pieces just because they're not afraid of us, because they think we need them. And now we're training their people to try to do the right thing, and they let some nut job in there. And I think it's a bigger act. They're not telling us about it yet, but we should smack the Saudis over the head.
If you go back and look at Friday's show, once we first learned that this was, in fact, a Saudi national that was being trained by the American military, my immediate reaction, was maybe this is why we shouldn't train Saudi nationals on American military bases. Now, that was before that we knew this person, this monster really, had a bunch of his fellow Saudi national friends over for a dinner party. And what did they do after a dinner party? What do? Do you play Jenga? Do you do Parcheesi? Do you talk about your day? Well, what they did was they sat around and watched videos of mass shootings. Now, what was he doing before the shooting?
Hello.
Well, he was posting quotes from Osama bin Laden. This is absolutely radical Islamic terrorism.
It was hate speech.
And I'm pleased with the leadership of people like Senator Rick Scott, Congressman Matt Gaetz. And you know what? I'm quite disappointed in where the president's been on this so far. Imagine if this was an illegal alien who had carried out this shooting. What do you think President Trump would be saying? That's why we need the wall, this and this and this and that. What if this was someone from one of the countries that the president's trying to ban?
They let him in.
Right.
We let him in.
You know, this is, I would like to see a little bit more vociferous anger from the president about Saudi Arabia's control. That's the one thing that's amazing about America. Doesn't matter who the president is, Republican, Democrat, or whomever. They all
all got to smooch up to Saudi Arabia for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
we're a net exporter now. We don't even really need OPEC.
Yeah,
if you ask me, we don't need them. Trump should take a hard stand with OPEC and all the Saudi Arabian nations, that all the countries around them there that need us to defend their butt, and tell them, you know what, we're not going to take some oil, and our gas prices will go up here a little bit, but you know what, we should tell the Saudis to take a walk for a little while. And if the New York Stock Exchange didn't need the money, we should shut down their IPO.
And you know,
on top of
again, you're right, we are a net exporter of energy, but they love Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia has shown a willingness to buy American armaments more than any other country. Now, it's great for Lockheed, it's great for Boeing, it's great for a lot of these defense contractors, but are you really benefiting, unless you happen to be one of those defense contractors, from these lucrative military contracts?
No, people are getting jobs in those towns, but you know, other than that.
And the other reason, like and I get this, they are a bulwark against Iran. That you don't want Iran to expand their sphere of influence in the Middle East, but at what price? Allow these Wahhabist monsters access to American military bases? Everybody
thought, oh, Jack Dorsey is so nice. He's not going to take political ads anymore, blah, blah, blah. I said this a few weeks back. No, he's not nice. Jack Dorsey's calling balls and strikes now on what is political advertising, and he's banning people at his own will. We're going to have Jeffrey Lichtman in here to talk about why a Fox News commentator has some breaking news, and he gets banned from Twitter by Jack Dorsey. Quick break, back with Jeffrey Lichtman right after this.